name is Timothy. Today I'll be talking about chapter 2, which discusses moral development. And before I really get into the chapter, I kind of wanted to just break it down what moral development is, just those two words itself, and what it means to me. Obviously, morals, you hear that, and I honestly think of just things that are kind of a code that we set for ourselves, what we think is right, what we think is wrong, just kind of our standards. And of course, development is more of like, changing over time and growing. So I think those two together kind of just talk about how over time we learn more and we experience different things, and our viewpoint of what's right and what's wrong changes as we get older and we experience challenges and then ups and downs, things like that. Really, the beginning of moral development began with a Swiss psychologist named Jean Piaget. I looked his name up how to pronounce it, so I hope I'm not butchering that. He studied children and he watched them play games and kind of just noticed their rules and what they kind of gave to themselves and set as the standards in the games for themselves, and how losing would make them feel or how winning would make them feel, and like how they interacted with each other. So he was kind of like the beginning piece to this whole discovery of how we deem what we deem is right and what's wrong. American psychologist Lawrence Kohlberg actually went further in depth with Piaget's work, and he went further into the idea of acting autonomously, which means using your own careful reasoning and like thought process to make your decisions. And honestly, our thought process ties a lot with what we think is right and is wrong, because when we're making decisions, that's all we're thinking about, just trying to make the right one. Now, in the early stages of moral development, this centers more on children, I feel like, and it really is just simple. It really is just like, I don't want to get in trouble. What can I do? What decisions can I make that will get me in the least amount of trouble with the greatest reward or outcome? And looking back at my childhood, like that's all I really wanted to do. I just wanted to have a good time and like not get in trouble and get toys and presents. Okay, now the middle stage of moral development is known as the conventional stage, because it's pretty much where all of us are. We kind of all are in this stage right now. And I think it ties in with a higher moral that, we've set as humans for ourselves, just to help each other. And that's what this one says it's really based on. It's based on helping others, knowing that you have power and using that power to be good and to help others. I think the book gives us a really good example of having morals for yourself, even when you're in an area or a situation where they're not appreciated. Sarah, who is the example that they use in the textbook, she is a journalist and she got a job at a news organization, and she is very, very adamant about, she loves what she does, and she's adamant about getting down and really like helping the people that she has stories about. And she goes into the job and they're just like, no, like let the people that are in charge of that do that, girl. I honestly feel as if though Sarah is in the conventional stage of more development. She has a new job, she realized that she has power, and now she is using her power to do her job, but also to help others. She's interviewing people, but she's also checking up on them after the interview's over and taking care of her story subjects. And in her space, it seems as if people are like, this isn't your job to do, but those are Sarah's morals. You know what I mean? This is what she lives. This is the code that she set for herself. I was talking earlier about how early stages of moral development are mainly focused on children, but that's not always the case. I feel like there are some adults that are in this early stage of not really knowing what morals are, but having them. And I feel as if though I am personally not in the conventional stage. I feel as if though I'm in the later, only because I feel as if being in college and being on my own, you have to make decisions for yourself. No one really is going to be there to help you. You have to kind of always make the right decisions. Sometimes you mess up. I've messed up a lot, but it really is just about knowing what you think is right and what is wrong. I'm ending this video with a task, and that task is to talk to yourself and ask yourself, what do you think is right and what is wrong? What are your morals? We think about it but not really think about it. You don't go too much in depth with it, but really just take the time. And it may be easy. You know, we kind of already know what we think is right and what's wrong, but just take the time and think about what stage you're in, especially like what stage do you think that you're in, um, and talk with yourself and figure it out. And it really does help. With learning more about yourself and development in general, not even just moral, just development, personal development. And yeah,